You know what's going on now for 2019? Shorter inning breaks. I think it's 5 seconds local. I think it's 20-something seconds national. So I think that will help. Everybody says, if they really want to make the game shorter, take less money. And baseball said, all right, you want us to do that? We'll shorten the commercials. Obviously, the broadcast partners have some say with this, but the opportunity there to do something has been taken. I give the commissioner's office credit for doing it, and they're going to figure out it, because obviously commercial time is commercial time. That's money. So they're going to figure out a way to shorten it, make it a little easier. Maybe they put the commercial on the sideboard. Who knows? But at least they're trying, and they understand, okay, we can't complain about long games when the commercials are forever. So we give baseball credit for that. That is number one. 5 mound visits now instead of the 6. I think baseball wanted the 4. Incrementally, they're settled for the 5. Less mound visits, the better. Last year, it played basically nobody sat there and counted mound visits. Nobody even thought of it. So from that standpoint, you get it down to 5. The obvious decision would be getting it down to 3 or 2. But one step at a time, I think we all can agree that 5 is no big deal one way or the other. Trade waivers eliminated. We discussed this. We get away now from August 31st. Everything has to be done by July 31st. Nothing can be done after that, which obviously, you got to basically, the old line is get off the pot. And by July 31st, you have to make a decision what you want to do with your ball club. Theoretically, I get the idea. It makes the trade deadline maybe more interesting. I have no problem with that, so that is number 3 that we like. Is there anything else as far as this year is concerned that I got to keep an eye on? I think a lot of it's for the following year, when obviously in 2020 you're going to have the 3-batter rule. So we like that. And, of course, in 2020, you're going to have the rosters, where you're going to have the extra man in a roster throughout the year at 26. In 2020, here it is right now, you'll see, with the 28 players on our roster beginning September 1st, but we finally get off the 40-man roster thing, which has been a disaster forever, and they have agreed, the Players Association, give us the extra player in the course of the year, give us the 2 extra players in September, and we'll live with only a 28-man roster in the last 30 games of the season. This has been a big bugaboo for a long time, and it finally gets settled. You know about the 15-day injured list for pitchers. That's not that important, and the option pitchers increased to 15 days. That's not important either. As far as the All-Star game is concerned, I forgot those last 2 addendums. That is for 2019, where in fact now there's sort of be quote-unquote an election day. I'm not that wrapped up on it. They're going to try to make this All-Star voting process very interesting, get the fans involved, pick select days where they can vote. They have the 3 guys per position. I can't get that wrapped up on it, so I'm not going to make a big deal myself, because the All-Star game in all sports, not just baseball, the All-Star game has lost its panache in All-Star. That's just the way it is. I mean, it's lost it in the NBA. Nobody cares about the Pro Bowl in football. Nobody cares about that hockey thing that they do with the conferences. Nobody pays any attention to it. The serious fan. And I consider myself the serious fan, and I'm not going to get worked up about how they're going to figure out the All-Star rosters. Any way they want to figure out the All-Star rosters is fine by me. If they want to have a little bit more fan implementation, fine by me. I'm not going to make a big deal about it one way or the other. I do think that the home run derby deal is good. I know the commissioner's office was not happy last year because outside of Harper, nobody participated in that home run derby, and they're going to see if they can change that to get a little bit more participation, get the big stars involved, which is what we all want to see. The one 2 years ago in Miami when Stanton and Judge were involved were fun, and that's what you like to see in baseball. The big stars participate. The guys that get the ball 500 feet, that's what you want to see, and baseball has added money to that pool. Maybe that helped. I think cooperation now will be in play. I think the Players Association will give some nudges to get their big stars to participate, because the home run derby is fun. So, listen, all is good, no issues whatsoever. Here is the big item that needs to be addressed. There's 2 items. First off, you like the idea that there was an agreement of some sorts between the Players Association and the Commissioner's office. We've all read and heard about the players upset about the ice cold free agent period the last 2 years. System has to change. not fair that a guy in his 20s obviously doesn't make the money because he's got to be 6 years before he's a free agent. And then when he's 30, he doesn't get paid because they don't want to pay the older player. So, I mean, and that's caused this friction, nothing getting done. So the fact that both sides got together, a little kumbaya, that's a good sign. The bigger issue is what the owners have decided to do. And remember, folks, I don't care. Owners, I do the show. If the owners don't like it, they can get me off it. If the players don't like it, it doesn't bother me. I'm going to tell you how I feel. That's the way I'm going to do the show. And if we get to the point where it's too much for either side, out we go. I'll be the first to admit it. So the owners are not telling me to say this. And the players, I don't care how they feel about what I say. Bottom line is the owners threw the players a bone. Now, that's the bottom line of what occurred here. The owners told the players, we understand you have some concern with the way the CBA has been outlined the last couple years. You don't like the way the system is broken with the smartness of the GMs and the way the owners have crafted the system to work to their advantage. You don't think, i.e. players, that is fair. So we understand your concerns. So we will open it up. And we will at least listen to what you have to say regarding, let's say, players going down to the minor leagues the first 2 weeks of April, where they get the extra year. Bryant's had the problem. Acuna's had the problem. We all know Alonso of the Mets might be in this situation. Same thing with Vladimir Guerrero. So, yes, we're opened up. We'll take a look at that. You don't like the idea that, if you get to be 30 years of age, the way it works as free agent, that you don't get the big money? We'll take a look at that. So what the owners did here to get an agreement with pace of play, I shouldn't say the owners, what the commissioner's office did here to get this discussion moving for pace of play, which would eventually will mean pitch clock, which obviously means the 3-batter rule, which, the commercials, all these things to speed up the game. What they have said is, okay, you're more wrapped up players in the bigger concerns. We're open up, at least look at the CBA before it expires, whenever it expires. Remember, that commissioner has negotiated deals here for about 25 years. All right? He is a smart son of a gun, and I don't care if he likes me or not likes me, and I don't care if you think I'm just playing. I'm not. The guy's good. And he understands that he cannot have any labor walkout in a year and a half or 2 years. He can't have the players walk out in this day and age in the 21st century with all these other sports and the shorter attention span and everybody looking at things on a phone and all those things that go on now in professional sports, which hurts baseball. He can't, the youth and everything else, he can't have that. So he will do what he has to do to make sure the players are placated where this agreement gets extended. And that's why he's a good negotiator, and that's why he's a hell of a commissioner. That is fact. And hopefully the players will go along here and realize, okay, you're not going to get everything. Get some subtle changes, play along with the pace of play initiative, and we all can live happily thereafter. And that's what's going on with this agreement. And if you think I'm wrong, you're nuts. That's what's going on. Case closed. So let's hope the owners give the players something. Some of those things have fallen the owner's way as far as the CBA is concerned, where they are big advantages. Maybe they give some of those advantages back. Fine. But they have an agreement, and they're not going to hear about this for the next 10 years.